Canada is fighting multiple fires right now. One of them is taking over in my opinion, one of the most beautiful places in all of Canada, Jasper, Alberta, Jasper National Park. It's where, you go to just feel like you're in a movie. Mountains are so friggin' high. You're up in the clouds. It's just so beautiful, so peaceful. The water there is transparent, and it's just a phenomenal place where so many Canadians have created such amazing memories, and it's being destroyed in real time right now. We're going to be taking a look at that, as well as something that's a little bit more frightening. For the first time ever, you have Russian and Chinese planes have entered into NORAD airspace, which is just so insane. Canada has to be the only country in the world that says, oh, you've entered our territory. I guess you're just lost. Hopefully you can find your way back home. So we're going to be taking a look at this and what that actually means in terms of escalated tensions for this, what seems like inevitable World War III. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I want to encourage you all to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It does really help grow the channel. Without further ado, let's get into it. So we're starting off today with some statistics. Reports 60% of Canadians say Canada is admitting too many immigrants. According to a new poll, the other 40% are immigrants. Haha, but all right, 15-minute cities are now being rolled out in Canada. The city of Edmonton is planning on splitting itself into 15 districts. It's no longer a conspiracy. Turns out it's true.
After 3 years of planning, city administration is presenting its vision to accommodate a population of 2 million people through 15-minute cities. 3 days of public hearings on the plan began at City Hall this morning. Shailen Skulski has more.
The 15 new district plans and corresponding bylaws will replace 54 existing planning documents dating back to the 1980s. Administration says the goal is to accommodate 600,000 new residents in redeveloped areas, with 50% of all new home units added through infill. The plan also calls for half of all future travel to be done by transit, and for residents to access all their daily needs within 15 minutes. Not everyone supports the plan.
My understanding is that this means I will need to stay within my district to meet all my needs so that the city can meet its climate plan objectives.
I don't think Edmontonians can afford to be part of a renovation experiment of this size so quickly.
I think, unfortunately, a lot of the district plan in particular have been derailed by 15-minute cities, conspiracy theories, World Economic Forums.
And it turns out that it is true. Oh, my goodness. And this has woken me up, man. I once upon a time was totally under the impression that 15-minute cities and all of this stuff was just a conspiracy theory, but no, it's not. It's really happening, and it's extremely frightening. It's extremely frightening because, conspiracy theories, it turns out that they aren't just conspiracy theories, they're a glimpse into the future. But I'll let you know what you guys think down below in the comments. It seems like single-family homes it's almost being pushed out of the way. Single family homes is so bad. Having a husband and a wife that have children that live in a single family home with a white picket fence or a cedar fence or whatever it is. It's like, that's not good. We can't have that. They have 2 vehicles, 3 vehicles. Yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe that this is actually the world we live in, where those things are now becoming taboo almost. Anyways, speaking of taboo, Esso is now in the process of installing TVs that are going to play ads in all gas pumps across Ontario, because why not? We're this far deep into a Black Mirror episode, might as well just keep going. Then we do have the Canadian girl here on X saying, fuck Canadian healthcare. I'm so over it's free when it's not. Every single tax-paying citizen is paying for everyone's healthcare. I'm tired of passing kidney stones weekly because it's not severe enough for surgery to remove them all. And no, it's not dietary related. And that seems to be how everyone feels right now. Healthcare is certainly not free. We used to brag about free healthcare because once upon a time, our system was actually good. And now when it gets thrown in our faces by, our beloved Americans or people from around the world, they say, yeah, but Canada has free healthcare. No, we don't. We just have the most insane taxes out of any country in the entire world. And our healthcare system is broken. So funny how the turns have tabled in a not so funny way, because it's affecting all of us. And it really sucks. Like, me and my family don't have doctors, but free healthcare. All right. Next up, you have a bit of a shit show here in Toronto, where the police stood behind metal barricades outside of the U.S. consulate because of all of the speeches that Netanyahu was doing in Washington, D.C. Canada's finance department found $16 billion for Ukraine, but couldn't find $20 a year to keep a Bank of Canada phone number active and prevent scammers from taking possession. Ladies and gentlemen, the notice on the front page of the 10th largest central bank in the world. If you still hold a Canada savings bond, please be advised that the telephone contact number 1-877-899-3599 has been discontinued. If you called that number since February 2024, you may have been exposed to a scam. If so, contact the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre. For information about Canada saving bonds, contact Unclaimed Properties. This is insane. Oh my goodness. Canada is just an absolute shit show. And to add more fuel to the fire, you have some breaking news. Holy crap. Senator just called out Trudeau government for harboring terrorists in Canada. Canada allowing Gazan refugees with potential terrorist ties into their country pose a national security threat to the U.S. northern border. In a letter with colleagues, it was urged to take heightened precautions along the border. Who saw that coming? Import a bunch of people from Gaza, where it's war-torn, and that's all Gazans know. And yeah, nothing could go wrong. Absolutely nothing. We have some other breaking news here. Justin Trudeau's handpicked chair of the Liberal government's Green Slush Fund has been found guilty by Canada's Ethics Commissioner. This verdict allows a damning report by Canada's Auditor General that exposed Justin Trudeau's slush fund nearly spent $76 million on projects connected to the Liberals' friends appointed to run the fund. On top of this, $12 million was given to projects that were both ineligible and had a conflict of interest. In one instance, Justin Trudeau handpicked Green Slush Fund chair siphoned off $217,000 to her own company. The corruption runs deep in the Trudeau government. More to come. Kind of crazy how it just seems like there are more and more scandals happening day after day here in Canada. But let's know what you guys think down below in the comments. Now we have an additional piece of footage here that goes in conjunction with yesterday's video of the Bank of Canada interest rate announcement. Let's take a look at this.
So it's absolutely the case that housing's sensitive, housing activity, whether it's construction or sales, is sensitive to interest rates, sensitive to lots of other variables too, zoning, permitting, the availability of labor, and it's absolutely sensitive to population growth. And we've had record population growth in Canada against what was already a constrained supply. So we've had a long-standing housing imbalance in Canada. I'm from Western Canada. We've been feeling it for years. It's moved to other big cities in Canada in recent years, and during the pandemic, it moved even to smaller cities. So it was there before interest rates went into sort of emergency low levels. It's still with us now that interest rates have gone up. So it's a structural imbalance, and it would be a mistake to think that we're going to fix that miraculously with a single solution of interest rate changes. So shelter inflation has some similarities. It's absolutely the case that our interest rate decisions have a direct and near immediate effect on mortgage interest costs, which is a big part of shelter inflation. But there's other things inside shelter inflation. Rent, for example, rent continues to increase. Other housing costs, insurance, taxes, maintenance, those are all rising too. We can look past mortgage insurance to a certain degree, but those other costs are real costs for Canadians, so we can't look past them. So, I mean, the bottom line on housing is we are going to lower interest rates if the economy continues to go in the direction that we expect. That'll have some effect, that'll help on housing, but it isn't the magic solution. It would be a mistake to pin all of our hopes on our housing imbalance on interest rates. Canadians need a more fulsome, more coordinated policy.
I think that that's something, that last sentence is something that most people can agree on. Canadians need something that's a little bit more wholesome and balanced. I want someone in government. I want people in government that actually care about this country, that actually care about the future of this country, and that actually do what's best in the best interests of this country and not to line their own pockets. I am just sick and freaking tired of this repetitive shit show. This is playing with our lives, and this is going to take years and years to fix. But I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Now we're taking a look at the absolutely devastating news coming out of Jasper, Alberta. Pierre Poilievre was very quick to jump the gun here and say, shocked and heartbroken to see the town site of Jasper reached by wildfire. We pray for the safety of all those who have evacuated from the community and for the firefighters and first responders who have a very difficult fight ahead of them. And later you see from Justin Trudeau, who says, just spoke with the mayor in Jasper on the wildfire evacuations in Alberta. These fires escalated rapidly, and I'm grateful for the brave first responders and the neighboring towns opening their homes to evacuees. Jasper, we're here for you. And then to follow up, the actual national park themselves, their official X account says, as of 8:30 p.m. this evening, it was determined, and this is last night, it was determined that the air quality had deteriorated to the point that wildland firefighters and others without self-contained breathing apparatuses needed to evacuate to Hinton. So everyone is trying to fight the fire in Jasper, Alberta, but they're being pushed tens of kilometers, dozens of kilometers away from the actual fire. And now we're going to be taking a look at this absolutely devastating footage coming from this wildfire here.
Okay, this lines up with the cat. We may need one or two. So once I know, I'll let you know. Good. Good. Okay, thanks, Blake. What about the Nodwell perm?
Wow.
The Nodwell goes down to the petro can and just waits there.
Just burned to a crisp. I'm sure that we could sit here and talk about each and every one of our own individual memories that we've created or that our families have created in Jasper, Alberta. Why not actually use this time right now? If you have a wonderful memory that you'd like to share from that national park, put it down below in the comments. Personally, that was the last time that I've been there was several years ago when I lived in my van, but just more recently, several months ago, when my husky, rest in peace, was on her last leg. Quite literally, I had booked a trip to go there with my family, and we're going to do one last vacation with my husky before she had passed, but her health deteriorated so fast that I had to cancel everything, and we didn't get to go. My wife and obviously kid, an unborn kid, haven't been ever, and that was going to be a phenomenal experience for all of us, including my husky, who last time she was there had a tremendous amount of fun. And it just seems like now everyone who's created amazing memories there, it won't ever be the same. And I don't know how we're going to fix this. I don't know how this town site is ever going to get rebuilt, but let's take a look more at some additional footage here. This is the fire when it was in progress, just ripping through everything. Oh my goodness. And if I'm not mistaken, it's pretty safe to say that the entire town has pretty much burned. Look at that. And this is what pisses off so many people, is that we go through this carbon tax, right? We pay this additional tax to fight climate change. Quite literally, shouldn't this money go towards fighting fires like this, right? We don't know how the fire started. I haven't heard of how this fire started, whether it was man-made, a campfire, whether it was lightning or something else, right? Or arson, right? Nobody knows. It hasn't actually been discussed, and it's not really the time to discuss it because everyone's focused on just evacuating everybody, right? But the point I'm trying to make is, where the hell are all the additional water bombers? Where the hell are all the additional firefighters? This is peak fire season. It's come a little bit late, much later than last year, but this is what we've been paying our taxes for, is to do this very thing. And where is the money going? I don't have an answer. I don't know if you have an answer. I don't know if anyone, even Justin freaking Trudeau himself, has an answer. But our beautiful country is burning down and we're being taxed to death and we have nothing to show for it. Our taxes go towards nothing and to the thing that they're supposed to go towards, which is this right here. This right here, they talk about this. You had Mark Holland, a federal MP, in the House of Commons right before the summer break. He literally said, if you sit in the car for 10 hours this summer, you're going to watch the world burn. Well, Mark Holland, Canada is burning. And what the actual fuck is happening with our carbon tax money? Right? 8 out of 10 Canadians get more money in their pockets. So what about the other billions of dollars that the government is pocketing? Where is that money going? We don't know. We don't have answers. And then we're left with just stuff like this. Some of the most beautiful places in Canada being burnt down to the ground, for them to weaponize it in our faces and say, this is exactly why we need to pay more in carbon tax. Are you kidding me?
A wildfire that has been threatening the town of Jasper since Monday evening has now moved into the community. We are seeing several pictures from inside the town, like this one here. Parks Canada says multiple structures have caught fire. Global News has confirmed that includes Moline Lodge and at least part of Jasper Park Lodge grounds.
This fire has intensified and firefighters are working hard. We do know that the Jasper Park Lodge, iconic place known around the world, has been hit by the wildfire. We just don't know the extent of the damage. We know that some of that resort has been untouched, though. And also, Moline Lodge in Jasper has also been hit, fully engulfed in flames. It's pretty horrific to look at the picture of this lodge completely engulfed. I'm guessing burnt to the ground at this point, but obviously quite the firefight to deal with. And it's not even safe now for firefighters in there. We do know that the wildland firefighters have been now pulled out because they don't have self-contained breathing apparatuses. And there's just been significant structure loss, multiple structures, but we did not receive word from the officer on exactly what areas and what structures have been affected other than what we have been able to confirm on our own accord. We did receive word that it's that south fire that has just progressed so much and been so aggressive, but also that north fire is also moving closer to the town. At this point, firefighters are working really hard just to protect those crucial infrastructures like the hospital, the wastewater treatment plant, the fire hall, the Trans Mountain pipeline, and communication structures. At this point, some areas already had protections in place, but now they're just trying to manage it so there isn't further significant damage. But we don't know at this point how it's looking. We did receive word from the wildfire officer that it is unbelievable the kind of height of the fire they're having to face.
My opinion is that it's all gone. The whole city, the whole town, everything there, all of these monuments, everything is just poof, gone, because we don't have the resources to be combating this. For crying out loud, last year we imported firefighters from Korea or something like that, South Korea, obviously, right? And we're just not doing that this year. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Where the hell are all our planes carrying water? Where the hell are all these trucks? Where's all our resources? We have billions of dollars in additional taxes that are supposed to be going towards this, and we don't have anything to show for it. But I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Now we're taking a look at a different fire, a potential war. So just the other day, you have, for the first time ever, Russia and Chinese strategic bombers have together entered the Alaska Air Defense Identification Zone of the United States. American and Canadian fighter jets intercepted them, and I do have the footage of that pulled up. This is pretty wild. So this is a view from Russian Air Force in Alaska's air defense identification zone yesterday after an intercept by U.S. and Canadian Air Forces. You have 2 F-16 Falcons, 1 F-35, and 2 Canadian CF-18 Hornets. Kind of crazy that happened to begin with. Like, why are we allowing them to even get that close? Shouldn't have our fighter jets been deployed when they were on their way into our zone? But no, Canada's like, yeah, come on in. And here you got drama alert that says World War III alert. NORAD intercepted 2 Russian jets and 2 Chinese bombers in the Alaska zone. Could this lead to World War III? And that's pretty much what everyone seems to be concerned about right now. And CTV is also also talking about this. NORAD intercepts Russian and Chinese bombers operating together for the first time. And I don't know how this doesn't escalate tensions. It just seems like all around with everything that's going on with the recent, just the other day, Russia sent drones over to Ukraine. They missed and they hit a Romanian village. That's an attack on NATO. Romania is a part of NATO, and under Article 5, it's NATO's obligation to take action, yet all the leaders have been silent. So what is going on? Why is NATO being attacked and there's no response from NATO? Why are Russia and Chinese jets and bombers coming into our air zone, which Alaska's not that far away? Look at a map, folks. Not to insult anyone's intelligence, but Alaska is just right up there, just right there. And it just seems a little crazy that this is all happening all at once, and Canada's attention is just diverted between Justin Trudeau and Tofino. The wildfires just mowing through our national parks and our cities, right? Our little town sites that are embedded in these national parks. And now this, it's a lot to handle, and everyone is pretty much anticipating a response from Justin Trudeau and also NATO leaders. Like, come on, guys. Hello, wake up. I know it's summertime. I know it's vacation time, but do your job and actually show that you have some balls and you're going to stand up to these people. And this is why America is kind of crumbling right now, is the president is MIA. We don't really know where Joe Biden is. There's speculation that he's appearing much taller after being sick. So they're saying that he's got a clone of himself, which I wouldn't even put it past anybody now for that to be actually true. Kamala Harris is somehow the new president, sort of, but Joe Biden's like, no, but I'm still president. And Trump is like, yeah, these two are going to lose by a landslide and I'm going to win and go back in power. So I don't really know what the hell is happening. I don't think anyone really knows what the hell is happening, but what we all can agree on is it's a bit of a shit show. And there's obviously reasons to believe that things over in Paris are going to get pretty ugly with the Olympics and how pro-Palestine protesters are becoming a little bit violent, you could say. Yesterday with what happened in Washington, D.C. and how they desecrated a bunch of monuments is that perfect example. But I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Is this now the beginning of World War III? That's where we're going to end this video. I'd love to know what you guys think. On your way out, I'd like to encourage you to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.